Alright, this is a video on how to override Glide's PIN number system. We set this up because we had a lot of clients who would complain they wouldn't get the email, and then Glide set up the ability to send PIN numbers by text message or SMS through Twilio, which we thought was fantastic. But even then, some of our most problematic clients don't get their PIN numbers by Twilio text message, which has been quite frustrating. So I'm going to walk you through what we do from start to finish. Skipping a few details, for instance, in Twilio, we just presume you have already set up a Twilio account. There's a bit of faff to go through this by submitting some business documentation, getting verified, not necessarily the thing you can do on the day. For us, it took, I think, 24 hours to be verified, but it says it could take 72 hours. The second thing is to make sure that your Twilio account is not on a trial account. So you can see this one still says $15.50 left on the trial account. That means we're not going to have the functionality we need. So we actually need to be on an account that is no longer on trial. Then what we can do under that is we take this information under the account dashboard. So the account SID, the auth token, and the Twilio phone number. We put that into our Glide app, so under settings, integrations, and then Twilio, we will put that information. So the SID, the auth token, the sender number. We then configure a column in the user profile for the phone number to be registered. So annoyingly, that can't be a computed column. And what we were doing was we had people enter their phone number, and then we had this nice JavaScript function that said if they already had a country code, strip it out and then give us just their base. And if they didn't have their country code, use that, and then regardless, add in their country code. Well, for this, it actually doesn't matter because we can't select a computed column. We have to select a standard column in Glide. Now, we do a text box because we are expecting a plus symbol, and also because sometimes people put in spaces. Now, if we were going to use a Twilio messaging service, which we've done, we would ask people for their phone number in the onboarding process. That's fine, no problem. However, we have found that we still get quite a few clients who don't get the phone number text message, the PIN number by SMS. So what we've started doing is actually generating a fake phone number for those clients and not asking them to enter their phone number up front. So this here is actually a fake number. This is +69, which is not one of our country codes. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you can generate that based on an index number, like the row number. You can generate it based on the number of users that have been set up and failed their PIN numbers, whatever. You can do whatever you want to add that in, but you'll have to add that in a workflow because it can't be a computed column. It will need to be a standard Glide column. Now, because it's a fake number, that doesn't actually matter because the PIN number will still try and be sent by Twilio, and then what we'll do is intercept it regardless. So whether you are using the real Twilio service or not, this will still work. And so I'm going to go for this. So you see that it's now said we've sent a PIN to plus SMS at incredible.so. Now, our suspicion is that if we go to monitor and then to the logs under messaging, we will see all the messages that have tried to be sent via the Twilio service. So under here will be a bunch. Now this one's failed because that's not a real number. If I click on troubleshoot, it'll probably tell me that it tried to be delivered and wasn't delivered. So no problem. But we can see everything on the logs. If the message has been delivered, then this message here from Glide will say, we've sent a PIN to the phone number, and that'll pop up. But because the message hasn't sent successfully, then we get the email address. Then what we have is a make.com scenario that checks for all messages out of Twilio. So this is literally just monitor our Twilio account. We don't need to worry about the to phone number or the from phone number. However, if you wanted to, you could, because you might say, we've got so many different accounts set up. You could do it by phone number if you wanted to inside your account inside Twilio. We'll just want to watch for every message. Now, normally we only have one path, so you wouldn't need a router. We just have a real customer database that we're using in here. And instead of deleting that and undoing it and redoing everything else, we just decided we'd add another router, or add a router so you can see this path. But typically you'd only have one of these paths. And so what we've got here is just a get rows. the standard get rows function inside make.com, pulling from the users table. Then what happens is it goes through, so the iterator in make.com will go through all the rows that have been found, and then we have a filter set up. Now this filter is going to check, let me jump into the edit box. So this filter is going to check that the phone number in the iterator matches the phone number that was trying to be sent. So basically, does the phone number in the users table equal the phone number that Twilio tried to send the text message to? And if so, then proceed. And what we have from here is send to that email address that was found in the iterator. We then have a very generic subject, and the body of the text message goes into the body of the email, and that then sends the PIN number to that client. Now, worst case scenario, they get another message from Glide, either by email or by phone. So if they've put a real phone number in and you use this system, they will get a PIN number to their phone by SMS, and also this email override. So just bear in mind that that could be a possibility if you're going down the route of trying to use this as an override as well as having Twilio set up with real phone numbers. We ended up doing this for some customers who have some people who don't receive PIN numbers by SMS. We have set this up for them on a unique basis. But more recently, we've discovered that clients sometimes just complain as a whole, and they might have 5 or 6 staff on their team who are not receiving PIN numbers. It's been easier doing it this way, believe it or not. And so this email will then have the PIN number sent that was originally by Twilio, and that will allow the client to get in back on the screen. So we found this to be pretty foolproof. Feel free to use it. Let us know how you find it. We know it's a bit of a faff. It's not ideal. And we know that Glide are working on other things behind the scenes too to constantly improve the service. So we look forward to seeing what happens in the near future. Hope this helped.